is Angelita, and today I'll be refuting a claim by Megan Lee that the use of real animal fur is unnecessary. Now, what is necessary? That all depends on her, so for the sake of my speech, I'm just going to assume that she means that the use of animal fur is wrong. My opponent's main claims are that faux fur can easily replace real fur, faux fur is less expensive, and faux fur is more diverse. Although it's a really controversial subject, most of the fur manufacturers are still well aware of the negative aspects, and they still continue to develop their fur in the industry. Now, her first claim is that faux fur can easily replace real fur. Now, hypothetically speaking, let's say we had a grandma who owned a fur, like this beautiful mink coat in the early 60s, but she liked to smoke. So let's say she burned a hole in her coat. Now you kept the coat for all these years, and you want to, repair the coat. You never replace that hole with faux fur. So in this context, you can't replace real fur with faux fur. You have to keep like with like. So, and a person who would repair these coats would never, have the courage to replace the real fur with faux fur. So one of her points is that faux fur becomes more realistic looking and real fur becomes harder to identify. According to Born for USA, faux fur can still be identifiable against real fur. There's a series of tests that you can administer to figure out if the fur is real or fake. Now you can roll your fingers around it, and if it's smooth and it easily rolls between your fingers, and it's real fur. But now if it's coarse, it's fake easily. Even just by looking at it in the sunlight. Same with real hair and fake hair. It's a dead giveaway in the sunlight. Fake fur has a different kind of sheen to the real, against real fur. So there are a number of tests that you can administer to figure out if it's faux fur or real fur. Her second supporting claim is that there are actually few weather conditions that call for wearing real fur. This is irrelevant because it doesn't matter whether or not it's that cold or it's that, frozen outside to wear fur, like actual fur. Because we've all seen in many occasions that even here in California, we use fur all the time. Now, one example is Ugg boots. Ugg boots are used during the summer and during the winter. It's an ongoing trend that women wear Ugg boots with shorts in the middle of summer, even though it's 100 degrees. And these Ugg boots are usually made out of sheepskin and sheep wool. Her next supporting claim is that faux fur is less expensive. Now you get what you pay for. So although the actual fibers of the faux fur is more resistant and more resilient than actual fur, the base of the fur is less resistant since it's made out of some kind of rubber polyester mix. And with wear and tear, it'll never last as long as actual leather. Her next claim is that leather jackets are more diverse. Now, first she opens up her speech by saying that faux fur is getting harder to identify between real fur and fake, or something along those lines. But then she also contradicts herself by saying that they're more diverse. So, according to Lucky Magazine, the only reason why faux fur looks real is because it's so similar to the real prints. Megan, somewhere along her speech, states that there are so many more possibilities with faux fur that you can dye them pink and it'll still look real. I don't think anybody here has ever seen a pink animal running around with fur on it, or I don't think anyone's ever heard of someone wearing a neon yellow fur coat and saying, "Oh yeah, it's real." Never heard of that. So Megan later on claims that fake fur is more durable, but as I said, it all depends on the management of how you take care of actual fur. So the way you maintain your fur, you can even keep your fur coat for 100 years if you could. So to reiterate, my opponent stated that the use of animal fur is wrong. So to back my claim is faux fur cannot easily replace real fur, and it is easily maintainable, and it could last way longer than faux fur. And it is important to remember that although faux fur is a cheaper alternative to real fur will still always be around. So.
Well, I like the idea of arguing a little bit about what constitutes necessary, but you really don't develop that once you introduce the idea. You pretty much stick to the advocate's claims. On the first point, your response mostly has to do with a hypothetical example and the argument that we would never fix a real fur with faux fur. I'm not sure why you couldn't do that, and I don't have any testimony from any furriers that would suggest that you couldn't do that. So that's a presupposition on your part, and I think you could use some evidence on that. All the stuff about being able to tell the difference between the types of furs also, I don't doubt that you are probably correct on that, but that would be another one of those things that's an assertion, and you should be providing some evidence to support those points. The need for real fur, your argument is that it's irrelevant. Okay, I can understand that, although I don't think your argument about Ugg boots is applicable here, because I don't believe that sheepskin and wool is the kind of thing that the advocate's really talking about. That seems to be mostly irrelevant itself. And the cost issue, I think you've got a reasonable argument here on cost. There's an interesting idea here that you say that the real fur would last longer because it's leather, and that the rubber polyester stuff would never last as long. That's another one of those things that's an assertion. You're probably correct on it, but I would feel more confident in the conclusion if there was some evidence to support it. I thought you did a nice job speaking to the audience and trying to explain what conflicts exist on the subject. Thank you.